Hey guys, it's Rachel Bourne here, and I want to talk about the attachment styles. So there's a book, and I know this is going to be reversed, called Attached, the New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. And it's by Amir Levine, MD, and Rachel S.F. Heller, MA. So this book is really good. It kind of is a more modern approach to our attachment styles, like the kind of attachment styles we form in childhood, kind of versus someone being codependent. So there's a little section I want to talk about here. Dependency is not a bad word. The codependency myth, kind of talking about how it's not just a person that needs somebody and they need to establish boundaries. That's kind of the modern approach, or that's kind of been the approach. But it says the biological truth. Numerous studies show that once we become attached to someone, the two of us form one physiological unit. Our partner regulates our blood pressure, our heart rate, our breathing, and the levels of emotions in our blood. We are no longer separate entities. The emphasis on differentiation that is held by most of today's popular psychology approaches to adult relationships does not hold water from a biological perspective. Dependency is a fact. It is not a choice or preference. So kind of how your parents raised you will form your attachment style. So in order to get to a secure place, you needed to either get away from or go towards a parent in order to feel safe, unless you were raised by secure parents and therefore you're likely more secure yourself, unless you had other, traumas that interfered. But kind of like it's a matrix of avoidance and anxiety. So you can be low avoidance and low anxiety, and you're in that secure, ideal quadrant, which everyone can work towards through healing, right? Or you could be in one of the other three categories. Someone who is low avoidance but high anxiety would be someone who was anxious or avoidant. Somebody who is highly anxious and highly avoidant is going to be an anxious avoidant person. And then someone who is low avoidance but high anxiety is the preoccupied anxious. The preoccupied anxious is probably the one closely associated with the idea of someone being codependent. I fell into this category and I'm still working on things in this category. But how that was formed, and I mean, just speaking from my experience, I had a father who was in the military. He was gone 6 months at a time. He also was kind of up and down, like the relationship was up and down. When he was in a good mood, I felt so important. Like when he was giving me attention, I was on top of the world. When he was mad at me for whatever reason, whether it was my fault or not, I felt horrible. If he was focused on other things, I felt invisible. So somehow through the nature of the relationship, it formed that way. And so, when I'm with somebody like that, and that's usually who I would be attracted to, someone like that. But those things would trigger you, right? So there's all these kind of activating triggers. That's what the book talks about. It's a great book. It really talks about the thought, really how to identify what bucket someone would fall into. And then it really delves into like the mindset, like the thoughts, the behaviors, the emotions tied to those, the actions tied to each of these. And there's even the anxious avoidant trap, so you can see how like one is triggering the other. and the like anxious avoidant trap. And the anxious person needs like to go towards when they're activated, and the anxious avoidant needs to, or the avoidant person needs to deactivate and get away when they're triggered. And so that's where you get like the, person who's texting a lot and the person who's ignoring. I kind of, my experience is I forced myself to kind of act in a different direction because I didn't want to be like one of those needy people. But you still have those underlying needs, and you're still activated, and you're still stressed, and you're still dealing with a bunch of negative emotions. You can't just force them away or push them away. So I thought we could, we'll do another tapping, a couple rounds of tapping on this topic. But just kind of talking about it a little bit in more depth. If you could think about if you're someone in the preoccupied, anxious category, you're someone who is very preoccupied with the relationship. You're highly on alert, and you're looking for signals. You're looking for threats. You're looking for, potential threats to your relationship all the time. You're jealous, you're sad, you're angry, you go through all these different emotions, right? Feeling small, feeling invisible, putting the other person on the pedestal, while the avoidant person's kind of going through very different emotions. So it's almost like I really think it's the actual, like the men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I think it's like everything's evolved to me, in my opinion. It's kind of evolved to this real approach. All these things we thought it was. I really think that a lot of it really lands here on a biological level versus why are they so different than me? And a male can be either anxious or avoidant. A female can be either any of the attachment styles. I think that traditionally you would expect that more females kind of end up landing in the preoccupied anxious, and most a lot of males land in the avoidant. But it really can go either way, just based on how you were raised and how the parent most significant to you, most significant to your emotional attachment was. Like, my mother was not avoidant. I kind of ended up being more like her versus her influencing me. But my dad was more of the, I think, avoidant type. And that causes you to feel like you need to do something more. Like you need to step in because there seems to be something wrong, but you can't quite figure out what it is. Like, it's hard to pinpoint, but it is real. It's real. You're not crazy. You weren't crazy. But the behaviors that you've learned are very harmful. They're bad for your health. They're bad for your happiness. I mean, they're dangerous. I know there's a lot of like dangerous emotions that you experience because of fear of rejection. There's many dangerous behaviors that you can take out of being jealous. And there's a lot of like protest behavior when you feel rejected and you're trying to get that person's attention by acting out. It's a big, exhausting roller coaster, and you're really the one paying the price for it. And, and it's like the more you do, the more damage the more you try to fix things, the more damage you end up doing. So then you end up just doing nothing, and you feel very like disempowered. So this is my take on it. Maybe it's close to your experience as well. And you really think about like where it came from, because it didn't just happen, and it wasn't just from, like a recent relationship. These attachment styles form likely the first 6 years of your life. I don't have any studies to show that, but your early childhood is where when your survival was at stake. I mean, you needed your parents to survive, so you had to adjust your attachment style to ensure your safety. So, so for me, my dad was in the military. He'd be gone 6 months at a time. Sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down. He was interested in people and things outside of the house. Sometimes it seemed like more so than in the house. And he'd be gone, and I would just think about him. And he'd come home, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think like he missed me. He'd be so excited about traveling the world and all the people he met and all the things he got to do. And I was stuck at home, very isolated, and I didn't have a lot of control over that. So it's circumstantial. You really got to look at your circumstances. What were your circumstances? And really, it's not your fault. We take such a bad rap for this one. There's so much judgment, being called, feeling like, I don't know, there's a whole industry against a whole group of people, and, language about codependent people and needy people. And it's not your fault. These things were formed based on real things that happened. You're not crazy. These are things to heal, right? Because I don't want to feel this way forever. You shouldn't want to feel this way forever. And I think awareness is huge here, because I went through most of my life just not getting it, not getting why. Why am I going through this? Why is this so horrible? Whenever a relationship ended or I got rejected, I would just get sent back to this horrible, horrible, torturous place. And it's scary, like a really scary, dark place. And kind of would spiral, send me spiraling out of control. And it would just out of nowhere could happen. I don't want to ever go through that again. Those are things I've been clearing the past few years. And, I'm in a stable situation now where I'm alone. And, this is a great time to calmly deal with these emotions without having to go through them live, because that's really scary and painful and unpredictable. It's not a good place to be at all. One relationship, the guy made me feel like I was on top of the world. This is a really long time ago. And then, as soon as he realized it, he was mean, so he broke up with me and started seeing someone else immediately because he knew I liked him. And I changed my hair color. I smoked cigarettes, but I didn't even smoke them. I just bought them and just pretended to smoke because I needed to feel like a different person with different actions and I just needed to feel like I was a different person, because it was just a dark place to be. That feeling of rejection, it feels so isolating, right? But you don't have to be there, and you're not alone, right? It feels like you're the only person in the world in those kind of situations, right? But you're not alone. There's a lot of people like that have gone through this, and it's because of their upbringing, and it's because of real things that happened, and real things that they heard and saw, and how their mind interpreted those things and formed patterns. So I did come up with a script. So really the focus here is you're putting your guy or your girl on a pedestal. And if I'm ever saying he, you can say she. You can change what I'm saying. But just kind of some of the thoughts and some of the emotions that go along with this preoccupied anxious attachment style. So again, tapping on acupressure points while you're thinking about the negative emotion that you want to decrease permanently. It works best the more you can tune into your personal emotions, your personal experiences while you're doing this tapping, and it lowers your negative emotions on a permanent level. But it really is effective. It's most effective. It's only fully effective if you can go to each aspect of a memory or each aspect of a problem and deal with it fully. You don't have to deal with every single memory, but it's best to find the most impactful memory or the earliest memory to really get the most, 'cause that's probably what really did the damage, right? So I put down some thoughts, and I hope that they are aligned with your experience, but it's also based on some generalities from people that go through this, and I resonated with these thoughts and emotions. So start tapping on the karate chop point. And my disclaimer that I'll say is I'm not like a trained tapping practitioner. You're best off seeing a fully trained tapping practitioner. This is just very general, and this is just to kind of get the ball rolling, but you can find tapping practitioners online. There's many that do Skype sessions with you. I do intend to get certified in tapping, but you know, you can't do any damage with it. The worst thing you can do is just not get benefit from it, right? That's the worst you can do. So all right, and then feel free to change anything. If something doesn't resonate with you, feel free to change the words to make it personal to you. And if I'm saying he, you can say she. So repeat after me. Even though he's so amazing, and I am afraid I won't find anyone like him, I'm okay, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid of losing him, I know that everything will be okay. Even though I'm not really sure what's going to happen with our relationship, I deeply, completely love and accept myself. He's so amazing. I'll never find anyone like him again. How'd I get so lucky finding him? There's no one in the world just like him. I'm not sure what I would do without him. He's so amazing. He's so great. He's so interesting. How can I guarantee that I can stay with him and never lose him? Maybe I'll try to make him jealous. Maybe that will work. Maybe I can try to act busy. Act like he's not a big deal. But that always backfires on me. I'm better off doing nothing. But that doesn't work either. I feel like there's nothing I can do. I'm not sure why he's so distant. I can tell he doesn't want to be with me. And when he acts that way, I feel small. I feel so small. I feel so small. I feel invisible. I feel invisible when he's not around. And I feel more invisible when he is around. Unless he's giving me attention. And then I feel on top of the world. But it seems like he's doing that less and less. I feel like I'm an enemy. I didn't do anything. I'm so confused. What did I do? He's such a great guy. Why is he acting like this? I guess he just doesn't feel the same way about me. Things seem all over the place. So unpredictable. One minute things are up, and the next minute things are down. I wish we could just get to a secure place. Then I'd feel safe. Then I can calm down. He makes me so jealous. I think he enjoys making me jealous. Talks about other people, how great they are. Talks about meeting other women. And he seems so happy. Why doesn't he get that excited about me? The world is great, and I suck. That's the message. I got it. I read you. Loud and clear. Not sure what I did. I'm just gonna be low key until this all blows over. But it seems to be sticking around more and more. I think he's gonna leave. But how will I find anyone like him again? He's so great. I feel so hurt. I feel so rejected. I feel so sad. I'm angry. Hostile. Frustrated. Maybe I'm even a little depressed. Because it feels like there's nothing I can do. I'm the enemy, and I can't change it. I can't change it. I can't change it. Maybe I need to remember that attachment style that I learned about. He has an attachment style, and I have an attachment style. And neither of them are secure. I need to remember that hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. We're just playing out roles. Roles that we learned in childhood. We can unlearn these. I'm not responsible for anyone's emotions but my own. Now that I know about these attachment styles, I can do something about it. That's the best thing I can do. And I'm doing something about it now. That's a great thing. That's something to feel great about. I'm not going to play games anymore. I never wanted to. I just wanted to be myself. This is a way to no longer get triggered. So I can actually be myself. Not be afraid. And feel fully safe and secure in the world. Things will either work with us or they won't. I will no longer attract this type of relationship into my life once I'm fully healed. Then I can be free. I won't be activated. I will feel fully safe and secure on my own. Or I can feel fully safe and secure in a secure relationship. Be attracted to someone who is normal and secure. Take a deep breath. Okay, that was a lot of tapping, but I think it's a really good topic. It's one that causes a lot of pain, and this is a way to heal that pain. This is a way out of the anxious avoidant relationship trap. And once you're in a secure place, you can sometimes even help somebody who's not secure become secure, just by the nature of not being activated and doing all these behaviors that trigger other people negatively. But they might not be attracted to someone who's secure. They might actually need that validation from somebody needing them. And it's an unhealthy attachment. It's an unhealthy relationship. And once you heal yourself, you're not going to be attracted to that anymore. Naturally, you won't be attracted to that. You won't attract that into your life. You won't become like a target to someone like that. And that feels kind of strange right now because you probably really like the person that has this, avoidant type of attachment style. It doesn't mean you have to break up with anyone. It doesn't mean you have to change, your relationship status, but it might naturally just work itself out. But it's for your best. It's for your best interest. It's for your safety and soundness and wholeness. So I hope this was helpful to you. It's something you can return to, and the more you do it, the more you can lower your numbers. You want to rate where you were at and before and after the tapping, right? And just keep doing it. And maybe a certain emotion is a level 10 out of 10, and you do some tapping and maybe it's dropped to an 8 out of 10. And you just keep working on it, and different emotions might come up, or you might go out there in the real world and have some real life experiences and have new recollections, but don't think it's something new. It's triggering something old. If there's something that you get triggered, it's because there's an old wound there. And pay attention to that. Pay attention, because life will send you invitations to these wounds, and you'll feel it. And it's not new, it's old. And those are the ones that have the biggest power over you. Those are the ones to pay attention to. And you can come back to old tapping and these old tapping videos and do them with your new experience and lower a new aspect of a negative emotion. So please, share your comments, how this helps you. If there's a topic that you would like tapping on, please share it in the comments below. And, please subscribe for more. I intend to do more of these tapping videos. I'm still healing myself, so I'm just sharing, and I'm hoping that you get some healing out of it as well. And this is a great thing to heal, because it's not your fault. The way the relationship attachment style that you formed, it happened through the nature of your relationship with your parents, and they came into it with their whole past and their whole upbringing from childhood. And if they were hurt as children, they're not trying to be malicious, right? They're just playing out a role, and they didn't do healing necessarily. So they will just, and I know that my dad never meant to hurt me. He loves me and I love him, but it just happened through the nature of just patterns. And I was also very sensitive because of my mother, right? And you just you form into your style, and then there's no turning back until you do some real healing. So that's what we're doing. All right, well, much love, and I'll see you next time.